All right. Okay. So first things first, right? We got crystal option boxes as part of the login event rewards. Don't forget to do your Hyperion Garden for Cabbage Garden, my favorite minigame. 7-day login, we get focus tickets. Excellent value because this is free. All you got to do is show up. Now is Eyes time. 3 option boxes and a bunch of material option boxes for crafting mats, for upgrade mats. Let's go break it down here. What is priority and what is not? All right, so these option boxes will provide 5 supply cards and 5 expansion cards or 1,200 crystals. Generally speaking, you get more value if you pick supply cards, whether that's expansion or focus, depending on what you need. If you know you're going to be rolling on an S-rank battlesuit in, let's say, 6.3 or in 6.4, then the expansion battlesuit or the expansion supply card will be a good value. Focus supply cards are always good because you're always going to need this for any gear rolls. Now, the only reason you would ever take crystals, is if you're planning for elf gacha or an outfit supply. Now, if you're looking for long-term planning, we would not consider this good value. Because generally speaking, you would want to invest into focus and expansion supply because the cards will just give you more crystal value. You know, each card represents 280 crystals, which multiplied by 5, that's 200 crystals more than what you would get from just picking raw crystals. Now, this is very important. However, picking these cards do not enable you to get an outfit that requires raw crystals only. So that's the only consideration. That is the only use case. Outfits primarily, and then occasionally elf banners. But generally speaking, if you're going for elf, you probably have the means to buy elf tickets, or you're capable of direct top-up anyways. Okay, some of the other option boxes that we have will be something similar to this. Now, from this, generally, if you're a newer player, you'll need Taurus more than SC medals. Generally speaking, you don't want to pick shards. As tempting as it is, shards you can farm naturally. Even if it does feel slow, it's a lot faster than some of the other materials I'm going to talk about. If you're a late game or mid game player, especially a medium to high spender, SC metals is probably going to be your pick, especially if you have so much weapon resonators that you can buy Taurus on a whim. Fuel, I've always said in the past that fuel only makes sense if it's like that's the last bit of fuel you need for finishing a stigmata, but I generally still feel like it's better to be patient with fuel, and I would go for Priarm materials. But that would be the situational caveat. If it's the last bit of fuel you need and you feel like you don't have an urgent need for SC metals or Taurus, then you can maybe pick fuel. Mind Stones is kind of a whale pick. If you're not already established on everything else, you generally don't go for Mind Stones. And then Spatial Convectrons, as tempting as it is to get Spatial Convectrons, think about it this way. You're passively getting Stigma Resonators from Open World every week, and you're getting Spectral Convectrons, the red lenses, from completing Elysian Realm every week. So this is about as farmable as your Honkai shards. I would not pick Spatial Convectrons, even though this is a decent quantity of it. So for new players and those that are starving on Taurus, I would probably pick Taurus. Especially for players nowadays, because you can actually craft Priarms in Masters. So, you know, your Taurus and your SC metals would be your top 2 picks. And again, you kind of adjust based on what you already have an overflowing supply of. When it comes to the Ancient Gift Box, which we did see a few in the event, generally speaking, legacies will be more rare and thus more valuable than willpowers. Willpowers nowadays you get so many different sources for, so I generally feel like you would go for Ancient Legacies, and that'll help you speed up some farming on a lot of the modern battle suits like Fallen Rosemary, Sushang, Pink Elf if you haven't already done so. Now, of course, the caveat is if you're already an established account, maybe you don't need legacies as much, but you need willpowers to finish your double S, Dorm buff, battlesuit, old S rank type thing. So, you know, just again, adjust your pick based on what you have an abundance of, but for general players, legacy will be the rarer material. Time Capsule? Yeah, let's go take a look at Time Capsule next. Let's go look at Time Capsule, and then we'll go into the shop. Alright, Time Capsule. Oh, yes! Mercurial Hatter. I'm gonna buy this right now, because this is one that I don't have. So generally, if you're a collection player, anytime there's an outfit available for Asterite, that's a decent pickup, because once you buy it, you don't have to get it next time it's on Time Capsule. Some of these weapons are collectibles, but nothing that you really need to worry about. I think Ice Roar... I think once upon a time we were saying you needed Ice Roar for the Ice Trauma back when we were fighting double S Wodo, but nowadays, because Pardo Phyllis just does all the Ice Trauma stuff, you don't really need to worry about it. Himiko is available. Himiko set for Himiko fans. The Anti-Entropy Christmas set, great for collectors. Dark Bolt Jonian, another collection piece. Fuhua Snow Gazing, actually released earlier this year, if I recall correctly. Also a really pretty artwork collection piece. So, Callan's Ambition. This is actually... It's weird to recommend this now, but back when it was originally released, back when G2 Stigmata was not craftable, this piece was like a free-to-play equivalent, or a free-to-play placeholder analogy for Monet T. So this Stigmata is actually quite okay for free-to-play, but it's probably, what, 30k Asterite, which makes it not really worth it, but you're not spending crystals, nor are you spending fuel for it. Generally speaking, it's probably more important to spend your Asterite on SP Battlesuit fragments. However, you know, maybe you're a Callan fan, maybe you're a Sakura fan, maybe you're a Saku Callan fan. If you're in that category, you like playing Dark Bolt Jonian, this is a great intermediate it's an intermediate placeholder Stigmata that you can acquire for not spending crystals or fuel. Formals is EX tier. Yeah, Formals is here. Yes, so Formals we also used to use as a budget Stigmata. Usually it was like the MB was used on Shadow Knight as a budget solution. Formals is also a great collection set with viable free-to-play use, right? It's a old school free-to-play placeholder set. Nowadays, because it costs so much Asterite, we'd probably say it's not as worth it. But all these characters also, you can invite them into the dorm as long as you have the Stigmata. So if you're playing for the dorm game, it is quite alright. The 2 set is nice for the total damage. So what we used to do was we use the M piece for elemental damage. I think it goes up to, what, 20? And then the B piece was attack speed when dance level reaches 1. But you needed the 2 set to get the attack speed. The T piece is physical damage. So sometimes you would see, I don't remember if it was that often, but every now and then I think there might have been some like low gear strats that use Formals T with B. So you would run Formals TB with like May M or something, or Marco M. Formals have Dorm Chibis? They do. Then you have your Immortal attire. I don't remember what specifically event this was for, but this is also just another collection set. This one is purely for the art, because I don't remember this one ever really being meta. Frost Moon Bunny, definitely recommend. This was one from Honkai Kingdoms. A great Divine Prayer outfit. Stygian Nymph Flourish, Mirrored Flourishes. This was from 3.7 spending event. I think this one actually costs B-chips or outfit tickets to buy. And I think this one is also pink tickets now, right? If I click on this, it highlights that, yeah. Dark Bolt Jonin Neon Shade, I highly recommend. One of the best outfits in the game, even though Dark Bolt Jonin isn't really meta anymore. Still okay for Copium on Husk if you're in a really, really low-tech situation. But definitely still one of my favorite outfits on a battlesuit that's still, in my opinion, fun to play. And then, yeah, I'm thinking I might just buy Magical Girl Sale. While it's 15% off and I have all these leftover tickets. But then I'm going to regret it if something else comes up that I want to spend tickets on. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm a Himiko fan, so I've collected my Himiko Christmas. I think I might be missing one piece on NA account. Okay, that covers the time capsule, right? Time capsule. So my top picks would be get any of the free outfits, anything that's with Asterite. If you're playing for long-term collection, maybe you're willing to sacrifice the Asterite. If you're chasing short-term meta and you just want to stay competitive, a lot of this stuff is skippable. And of course, Callan's ambition is like, if you need something for your top piece for Lightning teams, this is a okay placeholder, but it probably also costs like 30k Asterite, so it's kind of pricey. So in that sense, it's probably not worth it. Still usable. But Formals actually has Dorm Chibis, so if you're looking for the Dorm Chibis, Formals definitely recommend. Yeah, if you play long enough, Dave, you'll eventually also collect a lot of the stuff that you missed from previous events by the time capsules. All right, let's take a look at the paid shop and examine some of these bundles. Okay, the New Year character special. This one is actually decent value. So 1680 B-chips is around... 1680 is a little bit around like 25 USD, right? 1680 is right between 1980 and the 1320. So it's around 25 USD, and that lets you pick an S-rank character. My pick for anybody that can't afford this is still AE, because HOR is farmable, Miss Pink Elf is farmable, and Durandal, even if you pick her, you still gotta roll for Abyss Flower. So she's expensive even if you buy her, right? Because even if you buy her, you still don't have the rank ups. Whereas AE, she's fully functional at S0, still very strong. All her gear is craftable. Her weapons are obtainable from Exchange Shop. And she has alternatives, right? You could use GTX. Feng Huang Down is also a decent alternative, and Feng Huang Down is in Battle Pass. Feng Huang Down also is a Divine Key, so... generally speaking, if you're playing for long-term account building, Feng Huang Down provides that plus 10 permanent attack once you synchronize it with the pinions, which is craftable from Foundry. So, even as we are looking forward into 6.3, maybe if you're a new player willing to spend a little bit to try to catch up, AE would be a decent pickup in that scenario, because you might not have the crystals ready to pull for Hersher of Truth. And in that situation, AE remains a very viable, low-mid budget solution. Or maybe you're a Fuhua stan and AE's the only one you're missing, and you're willing to drop, 25 USD's worth in B-chips to get AE. So that's my recommendation on the New Year character special. The New Year gift box. This is a total scam. And I'll explain why. 3020 B chips. How much is this? 3020 B chips is, that's almost 50 USD, right? 45, right? We'll say 45. 45 USD. That is absolutely a garbage value. 45 USD for a weapon box and a stigmata box. That is random. It's not even an option box. If it was an option box, and if it was priced at around like maybe 20 to 30, somewhere between like 20 to 25, maybe 30 USD's worth of B chips, so like maybe 1980 B chips for a double option box, then I would say, okay, that's a decent value, but this is random, and that's really bad. Why is it really bad? Because you don't want to get a weapon for a battlesuit you don't own. All of these weapons are relatively modern, so they're not useless. However, you can't control what equipment you get. And that's where the bad part comes. Because if you get a weapon for a character that you don't own, you're not going to be able to use it. Now that's money wasted. Yeah, this is a Senti level scam, Alaza. You're exactly right. And even worse is the Stigmata box. Because now it's top, middle, bottom. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different sets. So 1 out of 30. Trying to pick 1 out of 30. Keep in mind, Stigma Resonators, you can slow farm from open world. This is not good. Right? Like, I'll put on the survey later, when we fill out the survey this weekend, that the New Year gift box is just not good. If you're gonna top up 3020 B chips, I would probably pick up one of these, maybe, if you don't already own these characters, battle suits, and then I would probably invest in the Focus supply cards. You know, like even the elf card bundles would be better. Yeah, like, invest in your monthly Focus supply card bundle. This is a more stable investment for your Honkai account than the New Year gift box. You know, you could get 15 of these expansion supply cards for 6.3 or 6.4. So this is okay. Do not get the New Year gift box. This is a scam. 10 phase shifters doesn't do anything. Like, 10 phase shifters is like, it's so, like, if they did 1 gear option box and then 3 stigmata option boxes so that you could just get 4 of 4 for 1 character on a bundle like this, then I would say that's an excellent deal, you know? But they didn't. I think if they ever try to sell one of these again, they need to sell it as option boxes only. I think anything less than an option box is just, it's garbage. Okay. Some of the outfits we've seen in the time capsule. They still haven't given us Prodigal Girl, so we still wait for Prodigal Girl to come back. Red Lictor's a good pickup if you haven't gotten already, but they should also probably put in the Radiant Blaze version of Red Lictor in this. Actually, don't you get that for free when you play through that story chapter? I don't remember anymore. Okay, what about the cyclic bundles? So permanent bundles, nothing really changes here, right? The cyclic bundles, I'd say if you're long-term planning, you know, the weekly bundle and the monthly bundle are good. If you're playing catch-up and you have the budget to do so, you know, your monthly Ancient Legacy and Willpower are okay. Asterite is only if you get really desperate. I generally don't advise. And monthly dorm bundle is only kind of like if you're a medium high whale and you're trying to brute force through the dorm supply to max out old S ranks faster. It was limited. Okay, so yeah, I hope, you know, maybe you could put on the survey to ask for the Radiant Blaze to come back in a time capsule. Yeah, let's go take a look at Foca EXPA. I don't think SCA gets Foca EXPA, right? I think Foca EXPA here is global only. So how does Foca EXPA work? You get a pool of 3 S-rank battlesuits that you can pick from to be the uprate battlesuit. Now, pity is shared because it's the same pity shared with regular expansion. And I believe the gear off rates is just whatever else is in the pool. So let me change scenes here so my camera's not blocking. As far as off rates go, you know, you can also reset the equipment and you can pick out of this pool. At least this is cycle 1, right? If you check in your in-game news posts, it is here. You can see the entire schedule. All right. So this first week, well, not even the first week, but the first 3 days, first 4 days, 3.5 days, it'll go till Monday noon. Right? We have Elysia, Silverwing, so H2O, Silverwing, and Mobius. And then the second rotation is PE, Sarcasm Nyx, and HOS. I know some players like Dark Knight Pyro has been waiting for HOS for forever. And then Aponia, Flame Scion, and MPE. Now, again, most of these are for players that you've already saved up. You've been waiting for a long time. Or maybe you're a new player and you have deep pockets and you can afford to top up dramatically. This is a great time to catch up on the game if you are a high spender. If you're a low spender, I generally don't advise participating in Foca EXPA unless it's a character that you've already planned for ahead of time. Like, you know, Dark Knight's been saving for HOS for a long time. Some players, they missed out on Hersher of Human Ego the first run, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna save up and try to get her this time. I think the only one from this list that I would hard recommend against would be Miss Pink Elf. Yes, Sarcasm Nyx is aging, but if you're already dedicated to rolling for Sarcasm Nyx, you know, that it's fine. Equinox, still quite alright, provided that you do have the baseline infrastructure of HOS already, and HOS still a solid pick for those that are building their physical teams. Now, I don't recommend Pink Elf because she's completely farmable. You can farm her from not having her at all to triple S just by being patient and just by playing the game. All the A ranks are farmable otherwise, so, you know, A ranks, I think the only really relevant one would be Raven for Raven DPS nowadays. And the only context in which you'll be using Raven DPS is if you don't have Equinox, right? A lot of that we'll find out more in 6.3. So let's go over some of these off rates on the gear, because the S ranks are kind of self-explanatory. You pick the one that you've been saving for. You know, Silverwing's still good in her niche. Mobius still provides decent wide coverage in a lot of scenarios. Maybe less so now that we have more and more triple S fights, but she's the stages that she's good at, you know, she's just really good at, like the Bio Lightning, the Bloodlust stages, Cleave fights. Mobius is still good, right? But if you're not already, you know, set on spending for this Foca EXPA banner, don't go out of your way to roll on these now. Don't impulse roll. If you didn't already plan for this Foca EXPA, I would say just keep saving for 6.3, 6.4. But that being said, for those that are looking at the gear banner, you can see here, all the off rates are the potential other up rates. So if there's something that you see in the off rates, like Turgenev or Zenyi, that maybe you're trying to get, you know, multiples of, or you missed out on the battle pass and you need to try to fill in some gaps, again, it makes sense to do so from a spending player's perspective. If you're a budget player, if you're a free-to-play player, I recommend that you just be patient and keep saving. Now, you know, 1, 2, and 3 are very specifically if you're trying to gear out that S rank. You know, the 1, 2, and 3 corresponds to EXPA Select here. 1, 2, and 3. And then as an extra incentive, hold on. As an extra incentive, you know, if you're pulling on 1, 2, or 3 and you get Turgenev and Zenyi, that's an added bonus. But again, you don't go out of your way to pull for off rates. In this case, if you do need Turgenev and Zenyi, just set it as the up rate. Elf Supply. Ice Elysia. She's functional at 2 stars, but really, you want her at 3 stars. Now, that said, if you're in a position where you can only get 1 2-star elf, we still say Blade Durandal is the most effective at 2 stars. But if you're pulling for collection, do what you want. Do what you want. That about covers it, right? That about covers these banners, these up rates. What was my last pull? Ooh, Blade Durandal. Converted into parts. That's right, I was trying to get 4-star Blade Durandal last time. Or 3-star Blade Durandal. It's painful. Yeah. I expected that we would get Foca EXPA on Global, and turned out to be right. Wish I had enough crystals for the last 2 pieces for PE, but Bronya's coming. I know, Peach Salt. I know. And at that point, that's when you have to ask yourself, do you have the budget? Do you have the budget? So again, you know, check the news post. Make sure you check the schedules. Looks like the banner reset will be at noon server time. So if you're trying to wait till the last minute on the banners to pull, it'll reset at noon every 4 days, it looks like. So the second cycle is gonna be December 30? 26 to 30. Wait a minute. Yeah, so there's 3 rotations, and each rotation will run twice. So 23rd to 26, 26 to 28, 26 to 28. Yeah, it looks like 3 days. Well, I guess it's 48 hours for some of them, and then 28 to 30. So it looks like only the first rotation gets the extended time. But you can see here on this calendar, you know, it'll run twice. So if you're trying to go down to the last crystal, last cycle, just make sure you check all your calendars. Because I probably won't do additional videos going over this for the next 2 weeks until the end of Foca EXPA, unless there's something absolutely drastically different. Yeah, maybe next week we can look at the off rates and see what changes in the off rates for like the Foca Select. Oh no, because it's covered here. Well, Starlands Prime, yeah, looks like, I mean, a lot of it is old meta. Holmes is good. Dark Star, skip, right? Shakespeare Drift only makes sense if you're building Dea Ancora. I know a lot of players are looking for Shattered Swords for their HOS. And then on the last cycle, Paganini is good. Ozlog is okay at this point, but I probably would skip Ozlog at this point, right? Like, if you can afford Ozlog, you might as well just roll on Ichan gear. But I'd probably say pick Paganini. Whispers of the Past only makes sense if you need the weapon. But this banner, you can potentially save some farming time. But Elysia set is acquirable without spending crystals, so just pay attention on wave 3, rotation 3. That about covers Foca EXPA for the next 2 weeks. Alright, good luck, captains. Keep saving for those that already know that 6.3 is on the way. If you have already planned out for this, good luck, and I hope you get it in as least amount of pulls possible so that you can go back to saving. We're gonna get Foca EXPA in 6.42, right? Probably. I'm 99% sure we'll get Foca EXPA. And actually, probably all regions will get Foca EXPA in 6.4 because it is the CNY patch. Traditionally, for the CNY patch, all regions do get Foca EXPA, and we get the majority of the New Year rewards. Global and JP servers, we probably will get more additional bonuses. So, like, you see some of these option boxes that we're getting right now from the login event. For this, we will probably get another set of these in 6.4 for global. And then I think SCA, probably what will happen, they'll get a reduced amount for CNY. Like, maybe instead of 3 option boxes, they get, or I think they got 5, right? They got 5 of these, and we're only getting 3. They usually figure out some way to make it equivalent, even if the timing is a little bit weird. So keep that in mind for 6.4 Global Anniversary. And Global also in 6.4 is probably going to get our first time crystal top-ups reset. So keep that in mind for 6.3 if you're looking to maybe use your $99 top-up to get double crystals in 6.3. Just things to consider. You got 3 of that card option box. Okay, so if they're giving us the one now for Christmas, there's a chance that you guys might actually just get the same option boxes again in 6.4 for CNY. Do you remember what you guys got back in 5.5, Chronos? We'll look at it later on. 5.5 rewards was the same as this year. So you guys also got crystal option boxes in 5.5? So there was no instance of you guys getting less option boxes than Global did, right? Because it's CNY. So then, okay. That's good. That means everything is equalized. Everything gets equalized. Which is good. I think it's better that all the servers get the same stuff. But yeah, so global players, pay attention. 6.4 is coming soon. 6.3 also right around the corner. Again, Foca EXPA, it's not bad, but it's like you only pull here if you've already planned for it, if you've already saved up for a long time for it. Otherwise, I think medium spenders and meta players, our next big checkpoint will be 6.3. I think a lot of like medium high spenders will probably be going for the 190 pulls on Hersher of Truth or something along those lines. I might just stop at S0. We'll see how I'm feeling. And then, you know, elf supply is decent. I think maybe in a different circumstance I probably would have wanted to go for 4-star, but at where I'm at now, I think if you can't afford it, if you really like this elf, 3 stars is the sweet spot, 4 stars if you can afford it, and 2 stars if you just want her for collection. Combat effectiveness, she does provide a gather at 2 stars, but her gather is not as good as Blade Durandal's, and Blade Durandal also provides total damage. So she can be used in elemental teams despite being a physical one, whereas Elf Elysia is very specifically ice focused. So keep that in mind. I guess that's it, right? Like I'm just repeating myself. All right. Yeah, good luck, captains. Good luck.